dopest poets on the planet. He's from Columbus, Ohio. In his book, The Crowning Worth Much, came out last summer, I think. I think that's correct, on web poetry. And it's like, seriously, it's one of my favorite poetry books ever, and you should just leave and read it right now. Like, why the fuck would you listen to me? But in it, he's got all these poems that are like odes to certain things, ending in something dope. So odes to bands or musicians, ending in something cool. So we'll have like ode to Drake, ending in Blood in the Field, or ode to Elliott Smith, ending in The First Snowfall of 2003. And I was like, what a cool way to do poems. And so I wrote one of my own. This is Ode to the Gaslight Anthem, ending in hospital bills, after Hanif Durkee. There's no summer better than the summer before you turn 18. It felt like it was terrible for a reason. All the self-hatred was finally going somewhere. Like all that time I spent veering toward and then away from guardrails so I could find new bridges somewhere north. The north is mythical and covered in ice. It's ice, dirt, and ice all the way down. There's nowhere close enough that you could get there by train, and isn't that what it means to stop running away? Stranding yourself somewhere so hard that it has to work, it has to, and if it doesn't, there's only back south the snow. Snow spreads its arms and yawns. Snow starts saying goodnight the moment it wakes. South is where they love you, but no matter where you drive, it's always into the sun, and the sun doesn't bat its eyes at you the way it used to. The sun only spreads its arms and yawns, but you don't shine like you used to. You used to be a glittering machine. You were brand new and so sharp and hungry for fingers, and now, who could tell you from dirty snow? Look at you there, all pale and non-stop bruises, and you somewhere, still that teenager with a rough and bloody voice, angry with the radio on, driving nowhere, and where would that loud idiot go if he knew he would one day turn into you? Thanks, y'all. I wrote that poem after somebody gave me a prompt where they were like, what would 17-year-old you say if he met you now? I was like, oh, that dude would hate me. Like, because, you know, he'd be like, oh, you do art for money? Like, that's not punk rock. That guy's an idiot. So, all right. Cool. All right, I'm gonna do a few more sad poems. This is probably gonna be the sort of roughest, most personal part of the set. But I promise I'm taking it somewhere. I'm not just gonna be like, everything's bad later. So, this poem was inspired by poet who's one of my best friends and also one of my favorite poets in the world. It's really cool how that can happen sometimes. His name's Hugh Min-Win, and last summer he wrote this poem. It's brilliant. It's maybe my favorite poem I've ever seen performed. It's called Notes on Staying, and you can find it on YouTube. Actually, you should just like fucking watch it right now. Put in some headphones, don't listen to me. It's an incredible poem. But this poem like wrecked me, dude. Like he knew when he was writing it, he knew it was a total banger. And so he kind of kept it a secret from people, but he finally got it out at this poetry show where he knew everybody was, and it totally messed me up, dude. Like, I don't really cry in poems anymore because I'm dead inside, but this poem like seriously fucked me up. Like I was like curled up in somebody's lap, like wearing sunglasses inside, eyelashes falling out, like sobbing. And after I got my shit together, I wrote a poem inspired by this. So. This is, oh, and I cribbed a structure from a poet named Sarah Brickman, a poem called Talking Shit with Sadness. So this is the door after Hugh Min-Win and Sarah Brickman. The hard part, probably, is admitting that I really can't handle it anymore. I can't just hire someone to take care of a 2-year-old unpaid parking ticket. I threw money at my loneliness, and all I got were friends who think of drunk driving as a sport. I stared at my phone for so long that I grew a glass face. First, you say you feel nothing, Ben. Yes? First, you say you feel nothing, Ben. Your eyes start to agree with you, Ben. One day, someone you love, probably, cries in front of you, and your only thought is, when is dinner? There's only one left to talk about being sad that won't make any more sad. I'm so sad I jumped off a bridge and missed. I'm so sad. One time I called my therapist Mom. I made enough jokes about killing myself that I'm starting to think they're funny. Every time I say goodbye, I find myself adding forever because who knows when it will be true. The text message is a light bulb on a bad wire. I start typing and the ellipses flicker. If I say delete, if I delete, the filament pops and the whole light stops. Tomorrow is at least I have to sign every morning. Get me a carrier pigeon. Fire up the old telegraph. Open the window and let me shout for help. Something's burning. Bring water. Bring water. I'm so sad. I fell in love with hands and a row of teeth. I'm so sad I line up the knives and stare at them until one of them speaks. Where's the bad part? How do I carve it out? Why now is it all rot? Joey always told me, laughing as though it were actually a joke, that he wanted to kill himself, but it was never the right time. There were always groceries to be bought and little brothers to be tucked in at night. Don't worry, Joey isn't going to kill himself 20 more seconds into this poem. It's not the kind of story I'm telling here. Joey got promotion, and now he can afford antidepressants. Joey is Joe now. Joe is a cold engine in which none of the parts complain. Joe is a brick someone made out of fossils. If you removed money from the equation, Joey would have been painting elk on cave walls. People would have fed him and kept him away from high places because look at those elk. I think that the genes for being an artist and mentally ill aren't just related to the same gene, but try telling that to a bill collector. We were 17 and I drove to all the punk shows in a station wagon older than any of us. We were 17 and I bought lunch for Joey more often than I didn't. We were 17 and the one time Joey tried to talk to me about being depressed when someone else was around, I told him to shut the hell up and asked if he needed to change his tampon. You know that moment when the cardsman realizes you've taken 3 steps off the cliff and takes a long look at the audience like we're holding the last moving box in a half-empty house. Joey looked like that. Without a puff of smoke. He just played video games for a half hour and then went home. Once, I caught Joey in my dad's office staring at the safe where he knew he kept the gun. Once, Joey molded his car in the shape of a tree trunk and refused to give a reason why. I once caught Joey in biology class, staring at his scalpel like he wanted to be the frog, splayed out, wide open, so honest. There's one difference between me and Joey. When we got arrested, bail money was waiting for me at the station. When I was hungry, I ate. When I wanted to open myself up and see if there really were bees rattling around in there, my parents got me a therapist. I can pinpoint the session that brought me back to the world. That session cost $75. $75 is 2 weeks of groceries. It's a month of bus fare. It's not even a school year's worth of new shoes. It took weeks of $75 to get to the one that saved my life. Well, the parents that believed us, we said we weren't okay, but mine could afford to do something about it. I wonder how many kids like Joey wanted to die and were unlucky enough to actually pull it off. How many kids and people who care about them will also have to pay rent. I'm so lucky that right now I'm not describing Joey's funeral. I'm so lucky we all lived through who we were to become who we are. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I've been hearing that the world is ending. I've heard it so much these days that I can either completely ignore it or never leave my house again. That is, if I actually left my house for things that don't directly enable me to keep my house. See, I've been thinking about driving nowhere. I've been thinking about making a box inside a locked room in a dark house at the dark end of the street. I want to go away until I'm gone. It takes so much less energy to not exist than it does to exist and get burned. I've been burned so much, I'm not me anymore. I'm a stupid puppet version of me. I got strings that lead to nowhere. Nothing is pulling on me. I wish someone would drag my hand out of hiding and sign my name on the dotted line. There are days when I can't find the sun, even though it's right outside my goddamn window. When getting out of bed feels like the key in the doomsday machine. So, on those days, this is what I tell myself. Whatever you're feeling right now, there's a mathematical certainty that someone else is feeling that exact thing. This is not to say you aren't special. This is to say, thank God you aren't special. I too have kissed no one goodnight. I've launched myself in tall places and hoped no one would catch me. I've ended relationships because suddenly I was also exposed, but isolation is not safety, it's death. If no one knows you're alive, you aren't. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, it does make a sound, but then that sound is gone. I'm not saying you'll find the meaning of life in other people. I'm saying other people are the life to which you provide the meaning. See, we're wrong when we say, I think, therefore I am. The more we say it, the more it sounds like I think, therefore I will be. You can't think your way to a full table. You can't think and make walls and a roof appear around you. I have thought and thought myself into corners made of words and nightmares, and what has it gotten me but more thoughts? A currency that only buys more currency. So please, if you want to continue existing, do something. Learn to make clouds using only your breath. Build a house, even if every wall leans to the left. Love it anyway, just like a season, just like a child's love, like you hate yourself sometimes, because at least there's still something to hate. I know how easy it can be to think and keep thinking until you are the last person left on earth, until the entire world becomes no larger than the space between your bed and the light switch. But I hear the world's ending soon. We go, and we're all going to go. I will be part of it. Thanks, y'all. I wrote that poem in 2012. Remember how the world's going to end in 2012? Yeah. So it was like very topical for like 6 months. Now topical again. So, all right. Ugh. Cool, man. Yeah, what's up? I'll do that. Cool, I got a couple more poems, and then we're gonna get out of here. After the show, I have a show in Utica tonight, so I gotta like head out and have a workshop. But I got a little bit of time, so if we just wanna like hang out, I'll do like a little meet and greet deal right in this little curve right here. So it's very, very cozy. So if you want to just like hang out and say hi, I'd love to shake your hand and say thanks for coming. Cool. This poem. About friendship. So last summer, not the one that just happened, but the one before, I was going through some shit. Like I went through like a pretty rough breakup. It was really no fun, and no one liked it. And like it's cool. Like we're back together now. As it turns out, we learned this weird thing where like when you're in love, you have to like communicate with somebody. It's strange that that's how being close with somebody works. Anyway, but like. So this breakup sucked, and when you're going through some shit, you really need somebody to take care of you. You know, somebody to really like look after you. And for me, that was my friend Mark. You know, he was just like, okay, Neil, like here's your couch, here's a bottle of whiskey. Just like don't choke on your vomit and die. I mean, really, like I wouldn't have made it through this without Mark. He's like, he's my dude. He's my tour manager, and he don't like self work for me and shit like that. So anyway, I wanted to show my appreciation for him and not like him. So I wrote this poem for him. Mark is the kind of guy who, given the opportunity, would never lock his car. If you've ever driven 2 blocks farther than you meant to and parked because you're good there, that's Mark. Mark has a spare room, and I'm sleeping in it until I know exactly how apart everything is going to fall. Mark says I can stay as long as I need, and I believe him, but also I'm cleaning each plate immediately after I use it. Everything stays in my room, and I play with his cat at every opportunity. I need to replace his shampoo soon. I'd be totally fucked if it weren't for Mark, but he knows, so I'm going to tell him. If you ever need someone to drive you to a firing squad, ask Mark. He's the kind of guy who, when he says you'll be fine, is probably right. The end isn't coming soon, just what's next, and Mark's going to be there, turning the record over, raising the middle finger, keeping the car running. I read him that poem. Like, we sat down at this kitchen table, and I read that poem to him. He was like, this poem's fine, you're fine, whatever. But he was like, if you want to like perform it and like publish it, continue doing it. He said, I have one requirement, and that is that you name it the Ballad of Fuck Knuckle Jones. So that's what that poem's called. Like, I don't know. I sent a draft of my manuscript into my publisher, and they were like, Neil, this is cool. Like, you know, friendship is important. Like, this is a good poem. But like, can we change the title? And I was like, we cannot. So, terribly sorry. All right. Cool. That's what's up. All right, dope. I've got one more poem, and then we're gonna. Thanks so much for being there, for letting me for a little while. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be chilling. So if you have any questions, you just want to like say hi, please come talk. I'd love to meet you. Cool, man. So I don't know if it's obvious from like all my poems and just how I am generally, but I'm very mentally ill. I'm fucking hella crazy. I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 11, and through a bunch of therapy, like all the therapy in the world, I was able to really get a handle on a lot of my tics and compulsions. To the point where, by the time I got to college, you really couldn't tell I had OCD unless I told you, which I didn't, because it was none of your fucking business. But now people know because of the internet, so whatever. Side note, I know I just did a poem about not having access to therapy, but like, if you're going through a mental health issue and you have that access, like, please take advantage of it, dude. Like, as we discussed at the counseling center, Mary, like, talked very wonderfully and said, hey, I'm a resource. Use your resources, bro. Like, seriously, like, therapy's the reason that I'm, like, a functioning adult in this world. Semi-functioning. Anyway, so seriously, if you need therapy, you can get it, please get it. So I was about 21, 22, I started having these really intense mood swings. And I really had no clue what was going on, so I went and I talked to my old psychiatrist, and she was like, yeah, dude, she said, yeah, dude, I love her. She's like, yeah, dude, you have bipolar disorder, like your dad's got it, your brother's got it, you're bipolar. And I was like, well, shit. Because the only narrative I had for bipolar disorder is a sort of crazy artist archetype, right? Somebody who's way, way up, and they're super productive. And they're way down and they kill themselves. So I was really sure I was going to be dead in like 6 months. That didn't happen. Like, there's so many ways to be neuroatypical, you know. Like when I'm way up or way down, I often hallucinate. Most of the time it's pretty cool, actually. It's like pretty fucking good. Don't do drugs. Anyway, but some days I wake up, it's really the worst. Like some mornings I'll get up and like all the walls are covered in spiders. And the sun on the side of my window and it's screaming at me and like birds, fucking birds. And for years after I was diagnosed, I had those days where I'd be freaking out so bad I couldn't get out of bed or go to work, like write a poem. And I spent that whole time just like beating myself up. And I was like, you're worthless. You don't care about your friends or your family or your art or your career. If you really cared, you'd make yourself get over this, right? You'd make yourself get out of bed, just get better. And the first day that I decided that I was going to forgive myself for all this stuff I couldn't control, and then I was going to love myself no matter what was going on in my head, like, it didn't just get better. Something's like magically going to make your brain better. It got so much easier to be who I was, you know? It took so much less energy to just exist. So, that's kind of what this last poem's about. It's also full of dumb jokes because I'm me and I can't help myself. But seriously, if you get anything from this poem and this set, like my life in the world, I just want you to forgive yourself, and I want you to love yourself. This is my last poem. It's about the future.
Yes.
The worst thing about being naked and then being hit by a car is that road rash is a problem for skin. Why was I naked in the middle of the road at noon? I'm glad you asked. Imaginary other half of this conversation, I have no idea. Some characteristics of bipolar disorder can include dissociation, hallucinations, and fugue states. So sometimes I would come in place setting and go to sleep. So there I am, nude, splayed out on the hood of a car like a slutty chicken, and I'm screaming about a government conspiracy to take away my feet. Not my real feet, just my brain feet. I'm about 6 inches away from the concrete when I realize, in slow motion, like the exact opposite of a rhinoceros attack, this is not how I imagined my life would turn out. When I was little, I broke both my ankles jumping off a roof because I was sure a cape would enable me to fly. My parents attributed this to my strong imagination. Last year, my therapist called it a delusion. I failed to see the difference. Also, I really can fly and see the future and make stupid people leave coffee shops with my mind. 43% of the time. Sometimes I see people as colors. The point is, here's a list of things that my brain has told me to do. Join a cult, start a cult, become a cabinet maker, kill myself, so in essence, become a cabinet maker, break into and then paint other people's houses, have sex with literally everyone, it reminds me of my mother, fight animals that are much fucking fightier than me, like bears, so in essence, kill myself. I think a lot about killing myself, not like a point on a map, or rather like a glowing exit sign at a show that's never been quite bad enough to make me want to leave. See, when I'm up, I don't kill myself because holy shit, there is so much left to do. When I'm down, I don't kill myself because then the sadness would be over. And the sadness is my old pain under the new. The sadness is the house fire or the broken shoulder. It'd still be me without it, but I'd be so boring. You keep telling me seeing things that aren't technically there is called disturbed cognitive functioning. I call it having a superpower. Once, I pulled over on the freeway and jumped out my old red Jeep because I saw it burst into flames 20 seconds before it actually burst into flames. Me and my fiancé and I would be together because she turned bright pink the first time she saw me. I know tomorrow's going to come because I've seen it. Sunrise is going to come. All you have to do is wake up. The future is a war, but it's coming home so soon. The future is the map and the treasure. The future looks like a child in a cave. The future is just like gravity. Everyone is slowly drifting toward everyone else. We will all be part of each other one day. The future is a blue sky and a full tank of gas. I saw the future. I did. And in it, I was alive. Thanks so much, y'all. Really wonderful. I love you.